Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Radhika Virani from Team Health Shots. I hope your morning is going great. Um, you know, at Health Shots, we are celebrating Ayurveda Festival to spread awareness about the virtues of traditional medicine. The pandemic has pushed an increasing number of people towards making conscious lifestyle changes and relying upon age old Ayurveda practices for a better tomorrow. Today we have with us Dimple Jangda, a popular Ayurveda health coach and founder of Prana Healthcare Center. Dimple has been leveraging ancient Ayurvedic practices to treat lifestyle, physical, and mental issues. Today we will get some basics right about Ayurveda and talk about the benefits of Ayurveda for holistic wellness. We welcome you, Dimple, to this session today. We'll just be joined by Dimple in a bit. I'm sure all of you are excited about knowing uh, what's in store here. We get some interesting tips and tricks about Ayurveda. What is Ayurveda? And yes, you can keep putting in questions that we can ask Dimple during the course of this interaction. I'm sure, in the post COVID era, we've been reading and uh, updating ourselves more and more about the hacks and simple ways we can use our kitchen in wellness, healthcare.
Hi guys, apologies for that. Can you hear me and see me?
No problem. Hi, Dimple. We welcome you today at Health Shots, and we're looking forward to knowing
Thank you
all
so
about
much.
Ayurveda and the benefits for holistic wellness.
For sure, for sure. In fact, if you can hear me well, just let me know. I'm just changing the
Yes.
spot so you can hear me better. There you
Yes,
go.
we can totally hear you fine. Yes.
There we are.
So,
I'm sitting in
so
bright
this,
light. I'm actually up in the mountains in Haridwar. I'm in the
okay.
mountains in Haridwar. In fact, I'm with Baba Ramdev here,
Oh, that's very
learning
interesting.
naturopathy and yoga. And
Oh, that's
it's
interesting.
quite an interesting experience. But, anyways, circling back to Ayurveda, which we're talking about.
Great.
Ayurveda basically means Ayu plus Veda. Ayu means life, Veda means knowledge. So Ayurveda simply means knowledge of life or science of life. It
Hmm.
basically equips you with a manual from Mother Nature teaching you how to take care of this piece of nature. Because you're made of only five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. And when these five elements come together, they become the three biological building blocks that makes your body healthy, wealthy, and wise. Right? Now, health is something that people have understood it to be very physical, but it's not physical. It's physical, mental, emotional, social, and also it's spiritual, right? So health has many verticals to it, right? And what we do is we basically have to understand that body and mind has a 1:1 relationship, right? If you're healthy in the mind, the psychosomatic effect on the body is also healthy. Ayurveda says all diseases have a psychosomatic origin, all diseases, right from
Mm-hmm.
arthritis to osteoporosis to rheumatism to spondylosis to kidney failure to liver, intestine, health issues, and even to gut issues. Ayurveda says the mind, the heart, and the gut has to be aligned. And only then you'll experience wellness. There's a very beautiful saying. It says, Samma dosha, Samma agnisha, Samma dhatu, Mala kriyaya. It means all three doshas are in a state of balance, the three biological building blocks. All the seven tissues, the main tissues in the body, are in balance. The digestive fire is in balance. It's not excess or less. And we're able to expel waste smoothly out of the body. It leads to prasanna indriya, prasanna man, basically meaning a peaceful and a calm mind and a spirit. Thus, that is health. So, health is actually wellness of the physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual aspects of our body. So I hope that defines Ayurveda well to you guys.
Absolutely. Uh, that that really breaks it down for us really nicely, Dimple. And coming to the second aspect of our topic, holistic wellness, being well holistically, these terms are used around very frivolously these days without really understanding what it is. Uh, what is holistic wellness to you? And how much do we as people
Holistic
need to
wellness has
understand that?
become right. So holistic wellness has become a word that we've misused for way too long, right? Everybody says, oh, holistic yoga, holistic Ayurveda, holistic everything, right? Holistic basically means wellness of all the aspects of your body, the one that you can see and the one that you cannot see. Traditional medicine for mental health was something that was overlooked. Western medicine for the longest period of time. Placebo effect. They say that, oh, somatic, but it's not a placebo effect. If the patient is not mentally, emotionally healthy and happy and balanced and prepared to get better, no matter what amount of medicines you give to that person, the medicines will show no effect. But at the same
Right.
time, when the patient becomes mentally, emotionally prepared to get out of that sickness, even a medicine that has no drug effect or benefit, which is a simple vitamin tablet, can help cure that patient. Hope you guys can hear me.
We can hear you, Dimple, but we've lost the video.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're back. Yes, you're back. We can hear you, but your voice is a little broken up. I think Dimple's facing a little bit of internet issues because she's in Haridwar, but we're trying to get her back.
Are you able to hear me?
No, not really, Dimple. I'm able to hear you, but it's a little broken. Guys, please stay tuned. We have lots more to talk to Dimple about. Dimple, are you here with us now?
Hi, can you hear me, Dipali?
We can hear you. We can hear you. Yes, you're back.
To fluctuate. You guys
No
can see
problem.
me and hear me, right? In fact, Baba
Yes.
Ramdev is just going to be walking past
Yeah.
us. And if we get lucky, I'll show you him walking past looking through our case
Oh,
studies.
wow.
So we were talking about holistic wellness,
Oh,
right?
great.
Holistic wellness
Hmm. Yes.
is a mind and a body relationship. It cannot be a one way road, right? Western medicine is relatively new. We are not trying to alienate, we're not trying to demonize or satanize any science. Every science has a role to play. Western medicine, modern science, specializes in research and development. Ayurveda specializes in treating the disease at the root cause rather than taking a symptomatic approach.
Hmm.
We're not treating the symptoms, we're going to the root. Ayurveda is a 5,000-year-old science that is rooted in the principles of Mother Nature. And Mother Nature is basically giving us formulations, 1,700 colon formulations on how to reset the body to achieve holistic wellness of the body, mind, emotion, and spirit, such that the mind, heart, and gut is aligned. Because that's when you become what is called a kalpavruks or a wishing tree, wherein no matter what you wish and what you speak comes true. A bit unfortunate that I'm stuck in the mountains. It's a beautiful place, so no complaints about that,
Yes, absolutely.
except for the internet connection.
Yes, but that's fine. As As long as, yes, we're being able to definitely hear you. Yeah. So, Dimple, moving on to the next question, of course, everything is interconnected, your mind, body, and spirit, but people tend to also favor one over another at times. And then what happens? Like most things, an imbalance, right? So, how do we strike that? What's the secret to striking the right balance between these three elements of mind, body, and spirit when it comes to wellness? Can you hear us, Dimple? I think we've lost Dimple again, but yeah, okay, there she is. Can you hear us? Sorry for these technical glitches, guys. Please stay
How
tuned.
mind body. Yeah, I heard some part of your question. You're talking about how.
I am unable to hear you, Dimple.
It says everyone can see me and hear me. I hope this time.
Yes, we can hear you. We just could. Can you hear us, Dimple?
Hope the connection lasts. Fingers crossed. And praying to Dhanvantri.
Can you hear us? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So yeah, you said part of the question was answered in the first bit. So I'll move on to what I am really interested to know. How mornings set the tone for each day, Dimple, for all of us. What are some things we should do as per Ayurveda, to have a healthy start to the day? What would your suggestions be?
If you could just repeat the last question for
I'm
me.
saying, since mornings really set the tone for each day for everybody, what are some things that one should do as per Ayurveda to have a healthy start to every day?
I'll tell you how you can have a healthy start to everything using Ayurveda. Okay, this is a very simple answer. When you were born, you were made of just five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. When we die, we disintegrate into these five elements. We're not made of anything extra special. If you ever come across a sixth element, it doesn't belong to us, it belongs to Superman, right? It's not us. We're only made of these five elements. Now, earth and water makes up the kapha dosh, or the most basic biological building block in your body that helps build bones, muscles, tissues, teeth, nails, and hair. Water and fire is the digestive fire and the metabolic fire responsible for all kinds of transformation in the body, transforming all kinds of tissues, right? From the food you eat, the digestive juices get transformed into plasma, blood, bone, bone marrow, muscle, adipose, fat, skin, hair, teeth, nails, sperm, and egg. Air and space is responsible for all kinds of movements in the body. like the movement of
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, the movement of food from the stomach to the intestines to the colon, the movement of waste out of your body, the blood circulating, the lungs contracting and expanding, the mother's ability to push the baby out of the body. We're made of these five elements. What Ayurveda does is it understands the imbalances in your body at the elemental level. We're not just isolating the body and treating the symptoms. We're understanding the root cause of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just stone, let's remove the kidney stone, or there's an issue with your stomach. We're not isolating or dissecting the body. The minute you start dissecting the body, it's not holistic anymore. What is holistic? Holistic is coming together in a state of holiness, in a state of balance. Ayurveda analyzes your body as a wholesome unit. So when you go to a surgeon for, say, a gallbladder stone, I'm saying this out of experience because I've undergone 4 surgeries as a child. Every time you go for a surgery, the doctor removes a fibrocystic benign lump or a kidney stone or a gallbladder stone. But can he or she give a surgery with due respect to them? Can they give you a guarantee that you'll never again have a stone? No, they can't. Because they haven't understood the root cause of the kidney stone or the gallbladder stone there. Ayurveda understands the root cause of it. It says earth is excess in your body and it's getting calcified, it's getting solidified. Okay? It is getting
Mm-hmm.
converted into tumors in your body. You need to flush this toxin out of your body, this heavy metal, this undigested food, this parasite, this toxin that is reacting in your body and converting into lumps or stones. So Ayurveda goes to the root versus a symptomatic treatment. But the best comes when you marry modern science with traditional Ayurveda. How do we do that? Modern science has a lot of research and development. Harvard and Stanford has said 90% of the diseases are caused due to an unhealthy colon. Ayurveda
Right.
goes one step forward and proved 5,000 years ago that 80 kinds of diseases originate from the colon, where Vata lives, which is air and space. And Ayurveda says by cleansing the colon periodically, every day in the morning, and once a year by doing a lot of enema treatment and flushing the waste out of your body, doing a panchakarma treatment, we can remove 90% of toxins, 99% of toxins out of the body, and thus 90% of diseases from the body. So when modern science and traditional Ayurveda start coming together and agreeing, that's when the best for humanity is going to happen.
Right. Absolutely. It's interesting because,
I know there's
yeah,
a time lag, but as long as you can hear me,
I can, Dimple. It's what I'm saying is yes. When we understand what these basics are, where and how Ayurveda really works, is when we can start sort of using it, well in our lives. Uh, I think so. Knowledge empowers definitely, and we should use that to uh, equip us to face bad health times sooner. So, also, do you feel, Dimple, that more people have started digging into Ayurveda cures and tricks in the post-COVID era? What are the kinds of questions you receive as a health coach, and why do you think this sudden shift has happened? I mean, as a myth, just to address a myth, a lot of people think Ayurvedic things are for the older people, but we see a lot of the younger generation hopping on, trying to understand and decode how Ayurveda can really benefit them health wise each day. I can't hear
he's an
you.
ex-investment banker.
Yes,
Sorry,
now
can you
we
hear me now?
can hear you.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can hear me now?
yes, I can.
I was on mute. 2017. I left a high rise career as an investment banker in New York City and came back to India to start this clinic. I mean, I didn't come with the intention of starting the clinic. It came to me 3 years later of doing research and taking a sabbatical from the corporate career, traveling around the world to figure out what I want and who I am and everything. That existential question on what is your ikigai and everything. When I started the clinic, I used to stand at the farmer's market distributing pamphlets. Now, this sounds like a joke. From living in New York on Wall Street, and working in Chicago with some of the richest men transactions, living in high-rise hotels and spending, dollars over dollars. I was suddenly in Mumbai, standing at the farmers market with all the organic farmers, distributing pamphlets to anyone who was willing to listen to me, that Ayurveda is the only thing that can help you prevent diseases rather than you waiting to get sick. What is the point of waiting to get sick and paying a hefty
Mm.
insurance amount just to use that money for a ventilator and a hospital bed when you could have used that money to live a more powerful now by detoxifying your body on a daily basis? And I'm not kidding you. The number of people who ridicule me for standing at the farmer's market, who sent me away crying sometimes, saying, okay, you're talking about a science that is 5,000 years old and it's not relevant anymore. The same people now, post COVID, are chasing me for an appointment. We have now cured 2,500 patients from 49 countries of chronic diseases like multiple sclerosis, paralysis, post chemotherapy and cancer detox, clinical depression, infertility. Three of them have actually had babies recently during COVID. We've treated them for chronic skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea. We've seen patients walk for the first time after being hit by multiple sclerosis. We've seen paralysis patients speak for the first time. Now, we've
Mm-hmm.
introduced Ayurveda to 2,300 students from 56 countries. Our family is growing by the day. It is 5,000 plus workforce. Not workforce, I would say brand ambassadors of Ayurveda. And the same people who ridiculed Ayurveda are now chasing us, scared to death because of the virus, because modern science hasn't been able to give you a straightforward answer on what is the virus attacking inside of your body, why is it attacking. It's trial and error and experiments. There is no 100% guarantee that if you go to the hospital, you'll come back out alive, right? There is a 30 to 40% mortality rate that if once you get admitted into the hospital with COVID, there's a good chance that you might not come back again. Young kids, adults, teenagers, senior citizens are all collapsing. The fear is the reason why people are now turning towards Ayurveda. And I wish instead of fear, you looked at Ayurveda, naturopathy, and yoga with faith that it can actually restore your body back to its original
Mm-hmm.
state of wellness, where earth, water, fire, airspace, elements in your body are in the purest form, aligned and synced to Mother Nature. Because we are like processors. We need to be plugged into the electric board, right? Similarly, the human body needs to be plugged into Mother Nature. And Mother Nature says, Ayurveda says, for every disease, there is a herb, there is a cure. For every disease, there is every malady, there is a remedy. If there is
Mm-hmm.
black, there is white. If there is happiness, there is sadness, and vice versa. You need to
Right.
plug back into Mother Nature and remember that the universe exists in perfect harmony. If there is a virus, there is also a herb, there is a cure. And in 2020, I started giving lectures. I gave about 300 workshops and seminars in a span of 1 year to 20,000 plus participants. And I kept telling them the best way to beat the virus is to consume bitter, astringent, and pungent foods. And they were surprised. They were like,
Mm-hmm.
why? I said, because the virus enters through the nose and mouth and attacks the throat and chest. And this is where mucus is accumulated. And the only way to dissolve mucus is by consuming 1 teaspoon of honey with ginger, pepper, turmeric, and cinnamon every day in the morning. Plus, having bitter, astringent, pungent foods helps in dissolving the breeding ground of the virus inside the body. So all our patients who consumed neem, philanthus niruri, brahmi, giloy, guruchi, honey, ginger, pepper, turmeric, cinnamon, and heaty spices wrote back to me saying they were asymptomatic positive or not at all positive ever. They
Mm-hmm.
felt zero impact of the virus. You must let the virus pass through your body with minimum or no collateral damage so that it can create antibodies inside you instead of you having to inject, unfortunately, heavier drugs that has long-term side effect on your fertility rate and your skin, right? So now
Right.
I wish people would turn towards Ayurveda not out of fear but out of faith. That is a placebo effect which will actually increase the magnitude and the effect of your medicines on your body by 10x.
Mm-hmm. Right. Is there a right age to start doing, practicing Ayurveda in your life? Because how people say what you do in your 20s will eventually impact in your 40s, and that's something we're seeing increasingly, uh, you know, uh, with the rising health cases in the country. So, is there a right age where you should start employing Ayurveda uh, ideas into our lives, or does it ever get late?
Do you know when is the right age to start Ayurveda? The right age to
No,
start
that's what my
Ayurveda is
question is.
when you were conceived.
Hmm.
Sorry, could you repeat?
No, no, I said that that's exactly my question. Yeah. We, yes, of course, when you're conceived, yes, because it
Yes.
all
Let
begins
me tell
from
you
there.
something that Ayurveda says, and I'll tell you how, and I'll tell you exactly how. You know, when we're conceived, based on the health of the sperm, health of the egg, health of the uterus, and the kind of diet the mother follows during pregnancy, your body constitution is determined and fixed at the time of creation, at the time of being conceived, and it remains for an entire lifetime. Just like how we have seven or blood groups, and it remains for an entire lifetime. In Ayurveda, we have seven unique body types that doesn't change in entire lifetime. Combination endo, ecto, endomeso, or ectomeso, or you can even be a three dosha body type.
Okay. Hmm.
Kapha, Pitta, Vata. I'm saying it in English so that anybody who's tuned in can understand, and it's not an alien science. You know, when a child is born, a newborn child, if you allow the child to be born naturally, without fear and trauma of a surgery room, and you leave the child near the mother's uterus, the vagina, the child crawls up to the mother's bosom and starts drinking milk. A newborn child. The newborn child, in fact, doesn't crave pizzas and burgers and pav bhaji or Kentucky Fried Chicken. What does it crave? It craves sweet mother's milk, which helps in building bones, muscles, tissues, teeth, nails, and hair. For 6 months, the child only craves the mother's milk. After a few days, it starts craving some solid food to bite into because it's teething. And the child then starts craving sour foods like lemon, tomato, tamarind because it helps in cleansing the tissues and also helps in cleansing their intestines of any kind of lactose intolerance. And then they start craving salty snacks like a bag of chips that they hold on to because that helps in lubricating the tissues. So the child instinctively, intuitively is craving foods that helps in building their tissues. The child was not educated or graduated in nutrition, and it was not given a certificate saying this is what you eat. You're now a certified holistic nutrition coach or a health coach, and you're allowed to eat this and that. A monkey does
Hmm.
not go to a school to get certified to learn how to climb a tree. A child doesn't go to a school to learn what to eat to build its muscles and tissues and teeth and nails and hair. The intuitive intelligence is what is called Ayurveda, or the knowledge of life that allows you to fulfill your desire for a long, healthy, and a happy life, which has already been ingrained in our mind by Mother Nature. We are designed for survival. We're designed for a disease free life. But as we grow up, we're stimulated by a lot of information, a lot of external stimulation from media, from social media, from television, from newspapers, from friends, from relatives, from peer pressure. And that intuitive intelligence or that processor, the mode starts getting corrupted inside of us, and we start craving unhealthy foods, unorganic or inorganic ways of living, and thus we cause what is called disease, which means not balanced between the mind, body, and emotion level. So, when is the best time to start practicing Ayurveda? As soon as you were conceived. I hope your mother is doing Garbha Sanskara, which is education of the fetus in the womb, because a child's brain develops in the womb 70% of the proportion, and 20% develops in the first 2 years, and the remaining 10% in the next 3 years. After that, there's nothing you can do to shape that child's personality.
Right.
So I hope
You
mothers
know,
are
we were.
practicing Ayurveda as soon as they've conceived the child. Because there's a perfect science on what kind of food to be consumed every month. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying we were talking about how in post-COVID times people have turned to Ayurveda, but immunity is another buzzword. It's assumed greater importance than ever before in the pandemic. Uh, Tell us about some ways Ayurveda suggests we can improve upon immunity. Um,
Let me tell you about a magic food. You might have heard of it. You might have eaten it also as a child. Your grandmother must have told you about it millions of times.
mhm.
It's called the Indian gooseberry or the amla.
Hmm.
One amla is equal to 20 citric fruits, which is equal to 5 glasses of orange juice. One
Right.
amla is equal to 20 citric juices. Can you imagine the amount of vitamin C you're consuming when you eat one piece of amla? The Indian gooseberry is antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, and anti-carcinogenic. It helps us in preventing cancer. If you had one amla every day in the morning, you're boosting your bronchial health, you're boosting your sinus health so that you don't contract a cold or cough, or you don't create a breeding ground for all kinds of bacteria and virus that is there in the air. Amla is one example. Ayurveda has several such. Consuming 1 teaspoon of Chyawanprash with 1 glass of warm milk, consuming turmeric in milk is anti-inflammatory, and inflammation is the root cause of 50% of the diseases we suffer in our body. Right? One teaspoon of ghee in half glass of warm water cleanses the colon and prevents constipation, prevents 90 kinds of colon-related disorders, including colon cancer.
Right.
Just having 1 teaspoon of glass of warm water, having fruit first instead of eating a big meal, having a small breakfast and a big lunch based on the circadian rhythm and the position of the sun. These are things that Ayurveda says, which allows you to boost your internal clock with the circadian rhythm, your internal clock with a clock outside of you in Mother Nature. Rise with the sun, set with the sun, your immunity will take care of itself. You're not telling your heart to beat. You're not telling your lungs to contract and expand, right? While you're talking to me, you're focused on your conversation and speech because that is voluntary. The only thing you can control are voluntary movements. You cannot control the involuntary movements like the heartbeat or the contracting and the expanding movements of the lungs, or even the food moving from your stomach to your intestines.
Mm-hmm.
When we're not in sync, when our internal clock is not synced with the external clock of Mother Nature, it leads to indigestion. It starts with bloating, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, gases, irritability, hyperacidity, acid reflux. Then it goes on to cause other issues like disturbed sleep patterns, nightmares, low immunity,
Mm-hmm.
low strength, fatigue, muscular skeletal disorders like arthritis, osteoporosis, rheumatism, spondylosis, because you're not able to absorb nutrition from the food you've eaten. We're all complex indoor plants. What we need is sunlight, water, lots of love. We've deprived
Mm-hmm.
ourselves of the natural things. We hardly get enough sunlight. We hardly drink enough water. And our clocks inside our body are not synced with the clocks of Mother Nature. That's the reason why we suffer from what is called disease.
Right. In principle, since we're talking about holistic wellness, it's also about head to toe wellness. Uh, and in the current times, people are facing a lot of hair related problems. We have a question from Isha here who wants to know what are the things one should do to prevent hair fall. So, any suggestions, Dimple?
Could you repeat that question or put it in the chat? I couldn't hear the last sentence.
I was just saying, any tips from you? We had a user question. What are the things one should do to prevent hair fall? So, any tips from you on that? Because you know how in people who've gone through COVID, at least there are a lot of hair problems that they're facing. So,
Oh
I
yes.
yeah. So, any suggestions on how one can stay away from hair fall?
Okay. For sure, for sure. That's one of my favorite topics. Let's understand the science behind it. When COVID attacks your body, first it attacks your lungs. Your oxygen levels depletes. As such, we're using 40% of our lung capacity. So when we contract COVID, our oxygen levels drop dramatically. Our body starts struggling, the organ starts struggling for oxygen. Your body has gone into survival mechanism. So it's saving all the energy for the heart, liver, kidney, intestine to keep you alive. The skin and hair are the last to receive oxygen. When the skin and hair start losing oxygen, the body starts using all the iron left to generate new RBC, red blood cells. So the hair follicles sting phase. When it goes into a resting phase, your hair starts falling out in tufts. So what do we do to increase our iron levels? You must consume overnight soaked 2 dates, 2 figs, 2 walnuts, 5 almonds, and munaka daka. It's the black raisins that we
Yeah.
get.
Yes.
5 of those black raisins. I repeat, 5 almonds, 2 walnuts, 2 dates, 2 figs, and 5 black raisins soaked overnight. This is a great source of vitamins, minerals, and iron. Make sure to consume this in the morning. After this, ensure to have a big bowl of carrot, beetroot, spinach soup for dinner because that's a great source of iron for your body. Anything that's green in color, spinach, celery, cilantro, curry leaves, moringa, spirulina, these are great sources of iron. You can also start cooking your lentils in an
Mm-hmm.
iron vessel and start making idli pan. Even that helps in absorbing iron in your body. You must ensure to have fenugreek and ajwain, which is carom seeds that helps in purifying blood. Besides that, you can apply the juice of one whole onion on your scalp. It is loaded with sulfur, which helps in purifying blood. Besides that, you can apply the juice of one whole onion on your scalp. It is loaded with sulfur, which helps in not sulfate, sulfur, which helps in stimulating new hair growth. You can also use homemade shampoo using chemical-based shampoos. You can use shampoos like buttermilk or fermented rice water, and ensure to have a lot of protein in your diet. Right now, your body is low on protein after having recovered from COVID, so you must have a lot of dairy products sourced from a cruelty-free organic cow's farm only, so you don't end up triggering PCOS and PCOD by drinking milk packed in a Tetra pack. Okay? So you must have a lot of milk, yogurt, buttermilk, paneer, which is cottage cheese, and a lot of other kinds of cheeses that are little fermented, aged, and a lot of ghee in your diet to increase your protein intake. We have 300 varieties of lentils in India. Dal, greatest source of plant-based protein. Please soak them overnight, cook them next day, and ensure to have a thin bowl of dal. Don't make it too thick because it causes bloating gases. Dal every day twice.
Mm-hmm.
Ensure to add hing, asafoetida to break down the complex gases. Add ajwain, which is carom seeds, and methi, which is fenugreek. This will help in prevent hair loss.
Right. That's really informative, Dimple. Thank you. I'm sure it will be really helpful for our viewers. Um, One thing I'd really like to ask you, Dimple, is that you, of course, listed so many things we can just take out of our kitchen or our fridge, for just for hair. I mean, I can only imagine the number of things we can do for other parts of the body, uh, you know. And but if we look at the markets today, the it's full of products that are being marketed with the Ayurveda tag. Uh, what should we keep in mind as consumers before indulging in them? You know, because clearly these are easy solutions rather than making things at home or arranging them at home. Uh, what would you say to that? What are the things we should keep in mind?
I have a simple rule for skincare and hair care. Your skin is the largest breathing organ of your body. Can you believe it? Your skin is the largest organ of your body. A full grown adult has 3.6 kilograms of skin on them at any point in time and 1 kilogram of gut bacteria. 3.6 kilograms of skin all over your body. Skin is not vanity. Skin is a very critical organ of your body that's constantly breathing and absorbing whatever we apply on it. In fact, what you apply on your skin enters your bloodstream directly and gets circulated to your heart, liver, kidney, intestines. So, would you like to apply
Mm-hmm.
chemicals on your skin that gets absorbed in your bloodstream? No. Versus food, which gets consumed, digested in the stomach, detoxified by the liver before released into the bloodstream. So, it's safer to eat any kind of food, but it's not safe to apply anything and everything on the skin. The rule for skincare is apply it only if you can eat it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what does it mean? Apply your skin only if you're willing to eat it. Is it edible? Every time you look at a skincare product or you're buying a face wash, look at all the ingredients. Can I eat this? Can I eat this? Can I eat this? If the answer is no, right there at home, in your refrigerator, in your kitchen, because all the ingredients are already available there. If you look at ingredients that are difficult to pronounce and that you've not heard of before, please put it back on the shelf because a leading cause of cancer right now, right from blood cancer to lung cancer to skin cancer, is caused due to consumption of heavy metals and toxins through our skin, through our lungs, and through our food that we're eating. These are the things that you can make at home. My favorite recipes, of course, are the ones that you can make at home. These are the things that you can make at home. One of the simplest recipes
We just
chickpea
lost
flour
you,
or
Dimple.
basin
Can you,
mixed with lemon and
sorry,
flush out any kind of toxins that you might have. And you can also
can you
scrape
repeat
off.
that, Dimple? I think we couldn't hear you. Can you repeat the recipe you said, your favorite recipe?
Sorry, go ahead. There's a lag between yours and mine.
No, I'm
I can hear
saying
you.
you were saying your favorite recipe is, and then we lost you. Yeah.
Yes. For the hair, I just gave you two recipes. You can wash your hair with
Yes.
buttermilk
Yes.
or fermented rice water, right?
Hmm.
There's a hair mask that I love. You can use 2 teaspoons yogurt, 2 teaspoon olive oil, 1 teaspoon of honey, and you can nice, smooth, soft, and straight. So it's just yogurt, honey, lemon, and olive oil. You can add a pinch of baking soda if you tend to get very oily hair. You can also add a strawberry if you tend to have dull hair that you want to give shine and luster to. You can add a whole strawberry. That's hair mask. And if you have a lot of dandruff or hair loss, you can also add overnight soaked fenugreek seeds. You can soak
Hmm.
fenugreek overnight, add a little bit of yogurt to it, blend it next morning, and apply it to your hair. Leave it on for 30 minutes. It's an excellent hair mask. Besides that, for the face,
Hmm.
these are some of my favorite recipes. You can just take either chickpea flour, which is basin, or you can take green gram, which is moong flour.
Right.
If your skin is
Hmm.
very dry and rough and you need something that's more nourishing and soft, you can use green gram powder. You can also use rice powder, by the way. In China, women wash their face only with rice powder. They don't use any products on their skin. And that's the reason why they have such beautiful, glowing skin, right? So you
Hmm.
can use any of these base ingredients. You can even use oats if you have very sensitive skin like a child, like a baby. So either basin,
Hmm.
green gram, rice powder, or oat powder. This is your base. Now we're going to add a pinch of
Hmm.
turmeric to help in detoxifying the skin, deworming the body of any kind of parasital bacterial infection that might have come. A pinch of turmeric. Okay? Nobody has
Hmm.
allergic reaction to this in this world unless the product is inorganic. Okay, so make sure you're using
Hmm.
organic turmeric that doesn't leave a color on your face. Squeeze a little lemon to this. Lemon also helps in lightening the skin and detoxifying the body. And then you can either add yogurt if you have very dry skin, or milk if you tend to have oily skin, or you can even add rose water if you don't want to use any kind of dairy product. Mix it well, apply it on your face, let it dry. I prefer
Hmm.
scraping it off because it helps in removing a whole layer of dead skin cells and pollutants from your
Right.
skin, and it also gives you glowing skin. And as a child, I had a lot of pimples, so that left a lot of scars on our face because I didn't know any better. But this face pack actually helps in removing scars as well. And then make sure to close your pores with rose water or ghee. Make sure to always moisturize your face well. The best moisturizer in the world is Shuddh organic A2 cow's ghee. Just take 1 teaspoon, massage it all over your face 1 hour before taking a shower. You will never touch a moisturizing cream for the rest of your life.
Hmm. Wow, those are some really interesting insights, Dimple. Um, I'm sure a lot of people are going to try them, and I hope they do. You were talking
I
about
hope so,
massage.
definitely.
Yes. You just mentioned massage, and Dimple, it reminds me how massage itself is a vital aspect of Ayurveda. Uh, but a lot of women look at it as a luxury, often being apologetic about going for it. Uh, what would you say to change that perception? Because it has a lot of health benefits as well, which we don't really consider.
For the amount of hard work women do in this country and around the world, I'm sorry to say, women work 3 times harder than men. They give birth to children, they raise children, they cook, they clean, and they go to work and also make a living and have an identity and a personality. Like you have an amazing personality already, right? Women
Thank
work
you.
3 times harder than men for the same job, for the same salary, paycheck. You need a massage, and I'll tell you why. Ayurveda, this is not just activities. Dinacharya are daily rituals that you must engage in to detoxify your body on a daily basis. And Ayurveda says the skin is the first medium of treatment. Introducing medicine through the skin is the best way of treating the body versus consuming oral medication. Oral medication comes second. Can you imagine? Skin is the first line of treating the body because whatever you apply on the skin, the body absorbs it. So, whatever you apply on the skin So that's why we said, use organic skincare products straight from your kitchen, not from a bottle, not from a clinic, not from a laboratory. Now, massages increases blood circulation, stimulates toxins from all over the body, brings it towards the gut, and allows you to flush the toxins out of your body. That's number two. Number three,
Mhm.
it's not a vanity issue. Every time you do a massage, don't you feel you're in a better mood, you're calmer, you're kinder, and you're also more loving to yourself and to people around you? That's what massages do. They calm the vata dosh, which is air and space, which is responsible for 90% of the diseases in our body, right from psychosomatic imbalances to neurological disorders to bone related disorders to gynecological disorders to colon
Mhm.
related disorders. So it's not a placebo effect. It's not vanity that you're feeling well after a massage. Ayurveda says every day in the morning, every healthy individual who doesn't have a cold, cough, sinus, or fever, who is in a state of health, must massage their body for at least 20 minutes before taking a shower to stimulate blood circulation and prevent toxins from getting accumulated in any specific organ and thus causing organ failure. So it's not vanity, dear ladies. Please do go to an Ayurvedic center or a naturopathy center and treat yourself to a massage once every week if you can. Just relax and let those four hands bless your body with medicated oil. It's a concoction of 60 to 70 herbs. Now, this, if I asked you to drink these 60, 70 herbs, you're going to have a nauseated feeling, right? Because it's extremely bitter. But if I apply it on the body, 100 ml
Yeah.
of this oil, your body is going to drink it up and your body is going to thank you for all that moisturizing and greasing and servicing that you've done for it. It's like a car. You need to service it.
Absolutely. And may our tribe keep servicing themselves with more things that contribute to their wellness. I'd love to go on and on, Dimple, but what a lovely session this has been. It's absolutely insightful and informative. Um, like I said earlier, I'm sure our viewers have had some very, very interesting takeaways from this. Uh, Thank you so much for taking out time. Hope you have a lovely stay in Haridwar. And yes,
Thank you so much for your patience and kindness. I really appreciate it. And I apologize
not,
for the weak connection. It's hard. I'm at the mercy of Shiva here. And I'm really glad that we could pull this through. Thank you so much, Dipali and team. You've been very,
not
very
at
kind.
all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And guys, we will be doing weekly sessions on
Lots of
Ayurveda
love, guys.
every
Bye.
Tuesday on Health Shots. Bye. Bye, Dimple. Thank you.